Alright, good morning everyone out there. This is Anthony. It's Tuesday, January 28th. Again, I'm Anthony and this is Drive Time. So, one quick update is I finally upgraded my phone. I was operating on a Samsung Galaxy Note 10. I just upgraded to the S24 Ultra. I'm not sure if you can see a difference in the video quality or not, but I don't know, it's fun, exciting for me. Nice, much needed upgrade. And today, I guess the top video topic here is just a general theme that perfection is the enemy of progress, right? Or said differently, I think great is the enemy of good, or something to that effect. And so, I think the reason I wanted to talk about that is I mentioned in a previous video that I did get some comments from a few viewers out there, and one was from Prod Sig, who said he liked the videos and I'm easy to listen to, and felt that if I really wanted to take this YouTube thing seriously, I should maybe consider hiring an editor. And then I had another user by the name of Orion comment, "Hey man, love the stream of consciousness, love that you just hit record, minimal editing, like for real, you know, keep it up," sort of thing. And so those two things are, while maybe conflicting, I first and foremost much appreciated, and I do find very encouraging, right, the two compliments there. I'm reminded of the fact, a couple of things, right? Those two sayings I mentioned here, that one general perception that you know, perfection is the enemy of progress. And that was something to consider when starting this YouTube video or channel is, well, yeah, how do you make thumbnails, and how do you edit? What kind of software do I need? What kind of hardware do I need? What's my setup going to look like? How long should the videos be? What are people watching? What are interesting topics, right? And the more you think, the less you do. And so, yeah, that's kind of been my MO. I'm just going to, you know, turn on the camera, hit record, and say what I'm going to say. I think about it a little bit, but ultimately just kind of go. And the other thing, I guess, is from James Cleary's book, Atomic Habits, in discussing habit formation, in discussing identity, he just kind of shares that just the more you do, the stronger the habit, the stronger your identity. He says the more votes you're casting for that particular identity. And ultimately that, he makes the analogy of working out, or the example of working out. Skipping one workout is fine, but then skipping two workouts in a row now establishes a bit more of a pattern, and now is casting a vote for the identity of a person who perhaps doesn't work out, the identity of a person who skips workouts, the identity of a person who finds maybe too many excuses to skip a workout. And so I do think that while there is a sort of quality versus quantity debate, I think that in terms of the identity formation and habit, ritual, routine building and sticking, that ultimately just hitting record and creating the video is more important than worrying about the editing and the thumbnails and the descriptions and the tags and the is the footage. There's all kinds of questions when you're on YouTube, and selecting the language and subtitles, and there's all of these different settings. Yes, there's a lot to get into, end screens, and how do I promote this video? Posting it on Twitter, or now X, right? Do I put it on my LinkedIn page? Does this quite rise to the level of professionalism, right? Yes, I have all of these questions, and I would like to do them perfectly, but trying to figure out how it all fits, I just don't have the time for those things. And that reminds me of another piece that I guess maybe should have mentioned in the intro, right? Again, this idea of perfection and stream of consciousness, just go with it. in James Clear's book, again, Atomic Habits, he discusses, I guess ultimately, right, if you want to be productive, if you want to be successful, you do have to take a look at sort of your own traits, your own abilities, your own constraints, and you kind of have to pick something within your wheelhouse, is me paraphrasing. The examples that he uses, he compares two professional athletes, and he even says this in his book, like Michael Phelps, a really well-known athlete, and then he also names a sprinter who perhaps, I don't know the sprinter's name, but he says is not as well known of an athlete. They're both Olympic, world-renowned, I guess world-renowned, right? But both Olympic athletes, excellent in their fields. But if they were to swap, well, even though they're both physically gifted, highly athletic, there's no way the sprinter would do well as a swimmer. No way the swimmer would do well as the sprinter. They have different body types. They're not made for the sport, for those specific events. So he says that you really should think about, again, your traits, your qualities, and you have to pick something that, I think he talks about genetics and their DNA, right, and its role in choosing these things, and it's so true. But I would say more than DNA, I mentioned like your constraints, and I'm thinking of time constraints. If it were my goal, if I really needed this perfect version of a YouTube channel, I wouldn't be able to do it because of the time constraints. I can't consistently sit down and edit. I can't consistently sit down and create thumbnails. I might be able to do it sporadically, but it's not worth the daily stress and headaches of then reminding myself that, oh, you weren't able to find the time, and having this negative voice creep in of, Anthony, you're not good enough, and Anthony, you couldn't find the time. It's so simple to create a thumbnail, like why couldn't you figure it out? And instead, again, trying to be more of a positive person, productive, optimistic, right? Have that kind of be my identity, and I'm able to just say, hey, you know what? Like you put a video out, right? This week you went short week 4 for 4. This week you went 5 for 5, right? And then on the weekends I started experimenting with, these shorter videos that I make during the week. Like let's just string them all together, and now I have a sort of, maybe around an hour mark video. See, get to experiment a little bit and see how the YouTube audience digest some of that content, click on it, not click on it, based on maybe the length. So you just have to do it. And thinking about the time constraints and things, I mean, for me, I'll share that one of the things that I suppose I failed at, right, or just wasn't able to accomplish, was writing my literature review. I did enroll in, and I was in for a number of years, was active in a PhD program in mathematics education at Montclair State University, and finished all the coursework, but ultimately wasn't able to finish the literature review. Wrote a couple drafts, got some feedback, but wasn't able to do it on a consistent enough basis. Maybe didn't identify strongly enough as a doctor, as someone with a PhD. And for me, the goals, it wasn't even really clear like what I intended to do with it. It was motivated by status, I think. I really just wanted to kind of have that out there so that professionally I'd be a stronger candidate for some top positions within a school district. So maybe, I certainly gained a lot. Was I doing it for the right reasons? Did I identify strongly enough? But I couldn't carve out the time. And so my DNA or my personal constraints and things just weren't conducive to being successful in that particular area. And rather than beat my head against the wall trying to get that done, and again have that negative voice creep in all the time, my committee and I kind of just decided, like, let's just stop. So with a year, anyway, it's a longer story, but the point is, you have to just do, and you have to think about what you can and can't do, how that marries with or merges with, meshes with your identity, the identity that you want to form. Build those habits, build those routines. Don't worry about perfection. Just get down to business. Be productive. So that's it for me. I appreciate you watching. Give us a like, subscribe, take 30 seconds, comment down below, share your thoughts, some of your struggles, time constraints, this idea of DNA, identity formation, etc. And yeah, make it a good one. Catch you tomorrow.